communication. And that's a powerful meeting of two very important physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional needs.
Hey there, flower friends. How's it going? Let's have a little chat here. A little heart-to-heart about flower farming. If we haven't met before, my name is Kiri, and I am the owner of Dew and Bloom Flower Farm, which is in its second year here in Western Washington, Zone 8A. And I have to be honest with you all about some thoughts that I've had recently through the beginning of this season, because it has been a tough one, that's for sure. Over the last month or so, I have seriously debated quitting the flower farm and YouTube along with that, and I want to kind of talk to you about why that is and some of the things I've been considering now. I experienced a lot of crop loss this year. Last year I really didn't experience any loss. I mean, some things, died or what have you, but they weren't big important flowers. It was like some celosia that didn't grow very tall, which is not a big deal when I had all kinds of other, snapdragons and things to replace that. But this year has been super tough. We had an incredibly wet and cold spring, even worse than last year. I lost half of my tulip crop to tulip fire. So the buds were literally just rotting, right? And as you know, tulips are an expensive crop. After like 3 months of nonstop rain, we have and are currently in a heat wave. So we got up to 90 degrees over Mother's Day weekend, and that is unheard of here. We don't usually have heat like that until the end of June, maybe, and that's even extreme. If that goes to show how things are going here, yeah. So the ranunculus that I've been waiting on hasn't done a whole bunch. I mean, I got a good initial flush, but I haven't had much because it's been too hot for them, right? So in a way, I've lost half of 2 different crops, and that's the game you play when you're trying to do those shoulder seasons. I get it, but it was painful. And even the flowers that I was able to harvest and set up to the stand didn't seem to be attracting that many customers. I'm getting a lot of engagement on social media, but I'm not getting a lot of customers actually coming through. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the economy. So economic conditions are extremely regional, and I live in a county that is considered a distressed county. So the unemployment rate is higher than like the state average, quite a bit actually. I just think that a lot of people don't have a lot of extra money to spend on things, or if they do, maybe they're choosing more experience-based spending since now the pandemic is officially over. Not only has my harvest been less, my sales have been less. So at this point, I'm at half of what I had earned up through this point last year. Even my Mother's Day sales were half of what they were last year. So it's kind of a lot, and I understand textbook business, and I did work at a small business for a while, but when you're going through it as the owner, it is very eye-opening. The business theory, right, in capitalism and in growth economics, right, is that you want to grow. Every year you want to increase your sales, you want to grow your business, right? Like that's the goal if you're in business for earning a profit. To see that I'm not doing that it's a little bit hard for me. But then I kind of had a realization of like, okay, if I want to grow the business, how would I do that? And that is kind of a catch-22 that I'm in. So as a small-scale flower farmer, and I know many of you are as well, I'm sure you understand this conundrum very well. So I'm limited on space, right? So even if I wanted to grow my farm so that I could have more sales volume, I can't, because I'm physically limited on how much space I can grow in. So that's problem number 1. And problem number 2 is that I have a day job, right? And over the past 4 months, I have been working a whole bunch of overtime, even weekends. I can't quit my job, I can't grow my farm, but to grow the farm and to you know, make more money with the farm, I need to spend more time and have more land. So it's just a tricky spot to be in, and I really started to question, you know, the viability of small-scale farming. I'll be honest with you, I don't think that you can make it anything beyond a side hustle unless you have acreage. I'm sure that's probably obvious to a lot of people, but it kind of was a realization that made me a little bit sad. And it kind of makes me wonder, like, why am I doing this? Because I am in this to make money. Like, I'm not going to do something just for funsies unless it is actually a hobby, right? Like, I'm not going to spend a bunch of money setting up all this stuff to not make money in it. I started to not enjoy the flower farm, and I took a little break from recording, and I did not record Mother's Day anything. I just did flowers. To say that I feel a lot better actually about the farm, because YouTube adds in this complication to something that is already quite complicated. Constantly having to consider, you know, am I in frame? Can you hear me? Because I know the highway is 50 feet away and really freaking loud. Can you see the flowers? You know, narrating everything that I'm doing is stressful because I want to put out good, interesting videos for everybody. But there's so many limitations on when I can record, because of my job and because of traffic and because of reality on when people place orders and when I need to fulfill them. And then sitting at the computer and editing it takes time. And, you know, I kind of started the flower farm thing because I didn't want to sit at the computer, which is what I do all day for my day job. So it was really starting to make the flower farm seem like a chore instead of like a fun side hustle. So I'm definitely going to keep trying to make YouTube videos, but don't be surprised if they're not every week like I've been trying to do. And you know, I'm going to keep flower farming. So I kind of have sat down and took a little break here and tried to reconsider, you know, what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And you know, I really like flower farming. I think that I am good at it. You know, I have some of the business knowledge, I have the growing skills, and I have the flower arranging skills. So I do think that I could be a successful farmer florist if I was able to scale, right? To be able to have more volume so that I can have more sales to make it more self-sustaining. You know, there's a couple things here I think that I just want to share with you all. So I'm not going to be a YouTuber that you would watch to see, you know, oh wow, she bought a 20-acre farm. Oh wow, the next month she bought a greenhouse. Like, I'm not gonna be that YouTuber, and I don't think anybody should expect that to happen to them even if they're not a YouTuber, because that's a lot. And you know, even if you watch Pepper Harrow, like I love their channel, they were honest and they said, you know, for the first 10 years of their farm, they had day jobs, right? Because that's what it takes to be able to fund this dream. And that's one layer of it, right, is the capital investment. But then the other layer is, why would I invest all of this money into infrastructure and like peonies and greenhouses and all that on a tiny property that I know I'm gonna move from? Because first of all, this house is tiny, and my husband and I want to start a family one day, and we're not gonna be able to do that in this house. And second of all, we want property because I do want to be able to have a flower farm as my only job one day. And that's tricky because this housing market is whack. I don't know if you've tried to look for 5 acres like anywhere in the US, it's freaking expensive. I've kind of reconsidered what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and I'm at this property to learn how to be a successful farmer florist on the small scale, so that I can make mistakes that don't cost me a whole lot. I'm going to keep trucking on. I'm going to make some portable investments that maybe one day I can take along with me. And I'm going to keep sharing the small scale flower farming journey. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to let you all know what I was thinking about here. You know, I seriously questioned if this is a viable business model. You just have to know where to spend your resources and time and have the property to do that. So, thanks for listening to me rant. Just wanted to give you all a little update, and you know, let me know kind of what your vision is for your business if you have a flower farm. And yeah, thanks for watching. And check out my ranunculus. Beautiful, huh? 100% Dew and Bloom grown bouquet, which is another goal I have here this year. Alright, see you next time.